Ooh. So a little too close. All right. Yeah. Man, it has been a bit. I don't even know if I remember how to do any of this. Anyways, been a great holiday. Been out for the past month. You might be thinking, Chris, what did you do in the past month? Watched too much brain rot. The Burnt Peanut in Arc Raiders has taken a hold of my brain, and it's pretty much mush at this point. God, I wish I could tell you I did something productive, but it was sad. But I'm back now. We're getting back into things. New year. I can't wait. You know, sometimes you have to just have a little fun. And I did. It was fun. Did some Arc Raiders, maybe some Age of Empires 4, and take a little holiday with the fam and spent good time with the family over Christmas and New Year's. So now I'm nice and refreshed, nice clean state. We can look at everything that Microsoft is doing for 2026, as 2025 has been, well, 2025's been something fun, and 2026 is looking even worse for Microsoft. It's been bad. It looks like it's going to get a lot worse. Looking at a lot of the preview builds, what Microsoft is doing in the background, I think is going to make 2025's errors look very minor by comparison. So, year of the Linux desktop? Maybe. I have kid, but I mean, there's some new blood. I think Jake over from LTT, he's doing his own thing now. He did a video about uninstalling Windows. Yeah, I was like, that's cool. That's cool to see more people try out Linux. We'll get into that. There's so much to go. A lot of people don't realize, some of the YouTube, most people on YouTube now just know me as the Windows tweak guy. It's kind of funny because I got my start doing Linux content for probably 4 or 5 years, really mostly all Linux content. And then I just kind of tossed a Windows video up every now and again. But now I'm like the Windows tweak guy on YouTube. And a lot of people don't even realize when I'm in Windows, I'm actually in Linux. I don't actually run, I haven't booted into Windows like on raw hardware. It might have been like 6 months or something. Now, obviously, I'm still got my VMs and other stuff that I boot up Windows, but it's bad. Like, Windows has gotten so bad, which let's just get into it, because I think a lot of people, I hate saying something and not showing it. So we're going to actually show that. It's kind of insane. And I'll keep up with the Windows utility tool. I still love it. And honestly, that's what most people know me as now. And frankly, that's a lot of people donate to it. So I'm obviously going to keep doing with the Windows utility. It's just a bit more work for me, but at the same time, that just makes the utility that much more valuable to people, because Windows, man, holy crap. Let's get on the desktop, because Windows is insane. They're just absolutely insane. Anyhow. Oh, all right, guys. All right. How's everyone else been? I've completely ditched Windows. Catchy OS. You know, Catchy OS is pretty good, especially coming from like a power user to Windows. Catchy OS is a good starting spot. Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah, you know, we could probably workshop a video real fast for those on YouTube that are just joining. And honestly, Twitch chat, you guys probably, it's been a bit of a refresher. What was the last big Linux video I did? I have not been making any YouTube videos. I apologize. What was the last video I did? Windows. Oh, Marchie. That was August. Mac. Ugh. Mac. YouTube Shorts, AI, Bash Terminal, good. June. Dude, it's been 6 months since my last Linux video. Cleaning Arch was April. Bypass NRO. God, how many times have we had to fix the stupid Microsoft account this past year? It's terrible. And then Arch in February, Hyperland in February, why I use Linux in February, Windows to Linux for a power user in January, and the actual state of Linux gaming January. So started the last year with a bunch of Linux videos. Actually, I need to get back into it now that more people are trying old Linux. Are we getting another phone review? Dude, what was the last phone review I did? That's been years. Casio versus Omar G. Yeah, so let's talk about Linux distributions really fast. Let me just make a broad statement to get us kicked off here. I think it'll really help Windows users and it'll help new Linux users. Let's just start with a very good statement about Linux distributions. They all suck, and you're terrible when you start. That's just how it works. Now, you might be thinking, Titus, what about that magical distribution that's perfect for me? Doesn't exist, never will exist. And if you think it will be like a Windows or a Mac, you're a fool. Just go use Windows and Mac. Straight up, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you the truth. Linux requires a little bit of tweaking. Now, how much tweaking depends on you as a user and your starting spot. All of distribution is a starting spot. So think of it like that. So now that you've kind of rewired your brain and realized Linux is not Windows, let's just fix some things that just common misconceptions. Like a good video I liked. Let's just pull up my YouTube history. How embarrassing is this going to be? I'm sorry, I've been watching too much damn Arc Raiders. Yeah, let's see. I think I had Jake's video in here. Yeah, there it is. So in him,
great time right.
I think, does he have timestamps? He does. Okay. So he's switching to Linux. He's trying out all the Linux distributions, going on a huge rant about Linux distributions. Spoiler alert. I think he said, I don't want to, if you want to watch the video, I'll link it below too. I hate doing a full reacts video. It's just not my jam. I think it's lazy content. He had Windle. I love that Window made up stuff. I think it was like Cache, Bazite, Fedora, and like one other one that he was thinking about. And I think he settled on Cache, which is pretty good for him. Probably my recommendation as well. So I think that was some good advice. But Cache OS, it's really easy to get in trouble. He's probably going to do a new video here in, I would imagine, a couple weeks where he breaks Cache OS. Just foreshadowing here for you guys that are new to Linux, coming from Windows. You're just going to break Linux, especially a Cache setup. Bazite, I think, is harder to break for most users, but also you can't modify it as much. So it's like a give and take kind of situation between the two. Because Bazite's an atomic distribution, meaning you can change system configurations, but you can't change the actual configuration. And he goes into like a couple other things, like trying to install software. Like he had a DaVinci Resolve issue, which he was having licensing. That was actually a permissions issue. He just needed to make the licensing file writable, and then the licensing would have been fine. But he would run into actually other problems once he solved that, which he didn't get to solve that. But once he does, I did a video. Here we go. My problems with Linux. No, I didn't. I don't know if I ever did a video on this or not. Anyways, it goes into it, but there's two things that are problematic with DaVinci Resolve. Real fast, I'm going to move on because I know this is kind of a niche thing. Audio setup with DaVinci Resolve. One, DaVinci Resolve is not a one-to-one feature. So DaVinci Resolve on Linux does not equal DaVinci Resolve on Windows. The Windows version is better. It's more feature complete. It has many more features that Linux does not. And you cannot do certain encoding in Linux. So not the same. So don't think, hey, this has a Linux version. It's exactly the same as the Windows version. Completely false. I could see how you could think that, but it's wrong. So the big thing here is Pipewire doesn't work very well with Resolve, at least the last time I tried it. So you had to kind of redo a few things. Oh, crap. Did I not? I just realized I have a light out. Yeah. Sorry. It's been off for too long. No. This light. Hmm. 1 second. That's gonna bug me. Oh, come on. Really? One second. We're just gonna update our lighting system here so I can get my green screen not looking like trash. The beauty of light. 1 second. All right. And now, is this my left, right? Yeah, right. There we go. So, blam. Fixed. Yeah, perfect. So anyways, the DaVinci Resolve thing, he's going to run into some problems with audio. One, just getting audio working is a little bit tricky. AAC encoding doesn't work in Linux. You have to switch it. So you can make it all work, and I honestly don't like AAC encoding, even though that's the default in OBS. I really enjoy Opus. I think Opus is much more efficient, and honestly, it sounds better. It has better depth quality when it comes to audio. So changing from AAC to Opus, then you can actually edit and do things in Linux. And you also need to like blacklist a couple modules so it comes through properly. So you can actually do a lot of good things. The other thing was, if you don't use NVIDIA, surprisingly, NVIDIA actually in Linux using DaVinci Resolve is actually better. I found for a lot of things, AMD is very close to NVIDIA when it comes to gaming on Linux, and honestly, I really prefer just using an AMD GPU for gaming. But if you're actually doing production work and you're not updating your system very much, NVIDIA is actually better for things like Resolve. Kind of like one of those things. If you're doing like Blender and other video production type stuff, it's kind of just how it is. So that was actually, I did do a video on that. Man, it's an old video, but a lot of it still holds true today. And I remember looking at Jake's video and seeing that, which is that. Does anybody notice in there, what problems do you have with Linux when you switch from Windows? Just to get a bead on everybody. AMD GPUs are much less problematic than NVIDIA for sure. When's the next MacUtil? I think I'm going to archive MacUtil just because Apple has started locking down so many features. Like if you have no ability to set the settings in the CLI anymore. So they took it out, I think, this past release or the release before that. And MacUtil, I can display the setting, but you have to manually toggle it. And I was like, this is awful. Screw you, Apple. So I'm putting a hiatus on MacUtil until I can think of a better way of doing it. Yeah. But typical Apple, they wanted to control that. I'm like, okay. But that's the big thing. Is Windows 11 really that bad? Using it often and no issues, really. So, here's the thing I'll say about Windows versus Linux. It's not a black and white type thing. And you as the user, if you've never used Linux or Mac or don't really ever touch the CLI or understand what even the command line interface or terminal is, you're going to have a bad time trying Linux. It's going to be rough starting and getting going, and you're going to run into some issues. So the question is Windows that bad?
Yeah, well,
let's tackle that real fast, because I think we really need to talk about a few of those things. What's up, Caleb? Oh, I think I missed some others too. Let me see. Tux, thank you. Almost 2 years, brother. All right. And Gaming Evolution, thank you for the Prime, man. 23 months. Man, we're almost up to 2 years. A couple people in chat, so thank you guys. But let's pull up Windows. I think that's the big thing here. 1 second, we gotta launch Windows. give me a minute. We'll see if my Windows is cooperating. I'm pretty sure it is. Windows is pretty consistent for me, but I've done Windows for so many years, and I have about 11 different professional certifications in Windows, and I still administer certain Windows domain controllers and in systems in the old day job. So it's still a thing. One second, we're pulling it up. So we're gonna make everybody feel it nice and home in the old Windows. Yeah. I've had a job. I've done YouTube for 8 years, but I've downscaled my job to just a day a week, and typically they only call me if like it's a big issue. So it's not like I'm working 2 giant full-time jobs, and I still like the social aspect. I think one thing people don't tell you about content creation, sorry, I'll go out on so many tangents, gotta bear with me. It's very lonely. So I actually still like going into work 1 day a week, and I still like talking to a bunch of people, and yeah, I used to still have a boss and other stuff that might yell at you if something screws up, but I don't mind it. I guess maybe I'm institutionalized. I've just always had a job since I was like 15 years old, so I have a hard time letting go, I think. I definitely could. I'm very financially stable, and frankly, I haven't actually pulled a paycheck from my main job in forever. I think like a year or two. I've just taken all the money I make there and just put it in a 401k. So I mainly do it for insurance for my family, because insurance is kind of a tricky thing here in America, as many people know, and having a job that provides insurance is always nice. So I mainly use it for insurance, and then any money they pay me, I just put into a retirement account. So that's kind of my jam, and I've done that for a while, and whenever it winds to a close, whenever the biscuit wheels fall off that gravy train, it is a fun job, and I've always enjoyed still going in and talking and just doing regular work, even helping people with little things. It's not a bad deal. I mean, I do work a lot, but when I tried to scale back, and when I was like, hey, I'm not gonna do as much work, I wasn't as happy, and I didn't like having too much free time. It wasn't good for me. If I work more, I feel like I find like a good happy medium balance. I think a lot of people these days struggle with working too much, but for me, if I don't work enough, it's not good for me mentally. So anyways, sorry. Here we go. Is Windows bad? Short answer is stock defaults of Windows are pretty atrocious. You have a lot of Copilot AI stuff. The cumulative updates that get installed typically install a bunch of extra services that you don't need. There's a bunch of bloat by defaults on here. The antivirus situation's kind of a scam. A lot of people are still paying for internet security suites and all kinds of crazy stuff that don't really do anything except siphon $50-$60 from your bank account every year. And there's just a lot of problems with Windows. Specifically, I think from a process standpoint, I think mine's pretty optimized at this point. I don't really update that much. No, 150 processes, so I'm not like crazy optimized on this guy. What am I doing? Still having to do some remote support with AnyDesk. I don't know why that's running in the background, though. Well, let's see what I got for... let me clean up some of this, actually, while we're sitting here. Let's install that. Yeah. Oh, geez, I still have that enabled. 1 second. Always notify. What the hell? Okay. What else we got? .NET tools outdated. Why? Let's install that. Fast fetch, Hugo, NuGet. One commander I don't really ever use. I think we did that on something. SAS. I think I was using it for some kind of styling sheet thing. It's an npm package anyways. 80K for Windows utilities. Actually, not that bad. I thought it was actually worse. We'll go ahead and update it. Rust Desk. Yeah, I probably should use Rust Desk. I forget what it was. I think they already had AnyDesk installed on the person I was remoting in. So I was like, yeah, well, that's fine. Oh, yeah, the 2025 year in review. Definitely, Caleb. We'll pull that up, too. Oh, yeah, AOE4. Yeah, the game streaming and stuff, I don't mind popping up every once in a while on Twitch. I just don't want to pollute people's YouTube feeds with it, since I think YouTube's at like 600,000 subscribers or something. It's been a while since I checked that, too. Oh, 735,000. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, I don't want to push like live me playing like Arc Raiders or Age of Empires to that many people on their subscription feeds. So that's why I don't really play games through there. But if I do play a game, I will put it on Twitch.
Yeah, well.
When do you think SteamOS will get NVIDIA support? SteamOS is kind of interesting. I know that SteamOS devs have said, ASC, thank you so much for the sub. I know they've said that they will support a variety of hardware. I don't think that'll ever happen, though. I don't think they'll ever do a generalized release of SteamOS, even though they said they would. SteamOS, I think, will be very good, and you can control it from a support perspective if you just support certain pieces of hardware. One thing about Linux, one thing I never even got to, is I haven't bullet pointed all this. I probably should pull up like a markdown file and do this for those that want to switch to Linux. But it depends on your hardware. Certain hardware just sucks to use in Linux, period. And you shouldn't just leap to Linux without understanding that. Linux doesn't have drivers in the same way Windows has drivers. Yes, there's certain modules you can install on top of your kernel to add support for certain devices. Sometimes not, though. Sometimes the device just won't work. Look at Elgato devices are really particular with Linux, and most Elgato devices do not work with Linux.
The dude abides.
I think there's many others that fall into this camp, too, so you got to watch what you're doing. Fluffy Punk, thank you for the six gifted subs, man. But yeah, or no, it was a gift sub to Gabby. But yeah, you said Happy New Year. You really need to have a response to that during a busy stream. Oh well, it's fine. It's all good. We're all friends here. It's all, you know. As long as people aren't being mean in chat, that's all I care about. All right. So anyways, getting on to Windows. The big thing, I'm going to probably pull up, I think our Discord has something in there. Let's go. Win one shot. Still got to do that. Still working on that. I'm going to do a rewrite on this next bit on that side of things. Where was the... Was that an announcements? There's so many channels. I am terrible with Discord, by the way. Winutil, year in review. Here we go. Chris strikes me as a Diablo 2 enjoyer. Damn. Well, I'm that transparent, aren't I? Well, fun fact, look, I actually did
I know you know a lot of
project.
People, so...
Oh,
yeah, well,
God.
Thanks for
Why is Discord changing?
The dude abides.
Oh, man. Niz, thanks for joining YouTube fans. Or no, that was Twitch. Somebody subscribed. Oh, yeah. Amber, thank you for joining the fans. And Niz for joining the sub on Twitch. Oh, dude, it signed me out. Lame. All right, 1 second. Still got most of this working. Yes. There we go. All right. Someone mentioned Diablo 2, and I know I've been just like a squirrel with ADD right now, but I have to show this person this because not only do I like Diablo 2, but there's one thing about Diablo 2 I didn't like, which was there's no loot filter with Diablo 2. So actually, I wrote a mod. I don't even know if this works. I think I still need to update it because I think they added like a new stash tab or something. So I still need to update it. But you could actually add a loot filter to filter out all the junk loot, so then you could do your runs a lot faster and not have all the junk on the ground, which I really liked. The other thing is I didn't like some of the aesthetics, so I went through the MPQ file and then changed some of the artwork because I didn't like some of the some of the artwork below. I thought it kind of blocked parts of the game. So this was a loot filter and also a UI customization combined. And I think there was an issue with that. But, you know, I'll get to it. One dude, thank you for the prime. Oh, we got a hype train. Cheat, sweet. And Fat Bastard, thanks for the gifted sub, man. Much appreciated. Nice. All right. Gabrielle from earlier joining the fans too. So, 2026 year of the Linux. No more Microslop. The original question someone asked earlier was, is Microsoft that bad? Yeah, it's that bad, but you can fix it. And for most people, Windows is what they've known for the past 20 years, and Linux is not a drop-in replacement. It's not something that will give a consistent user experience across everyone. So most people will continue using Windows. Right now, Windows has about 70% of the market share. It might go down a couple percent. Those that want to learn Linux and like figure all the ins and outs and have the aptitude to do so, they will. But that's only going to be maybe 1%, 2% of that. Historically speaking, even with Microsoft, you know, screwing everything up, there's always ways to fix it. And that's not going to change. You know, Microsoft can try their hardest, but the one thing that I'm seeing from Microsoft, which is both a pro and a con, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword here, is
the dude abides.
They're rather incompetent. Microsoft is not putting out many quality updates that are good, and a lot of the updates are very, very mismanaged, or there's too much AI assistance, and they're putting out a lot of slop, right? And that's causing a lot of issues. But at the same turn, I feel like that a lot of the old guard that knew Windows in and out, Windows hasn't fundamentally changed at the bottom level. We've had a lot of fresh coats of paint, don't get me wrong, and the kernel itself has seen some changes, but the people I knew that were worked at Microsoft producing binaries and doing the actual like real work, you would think this would be a team of thousands of people, but in reality, back in 2024, when my buddy worked there, it was about 150 people that really knew stuff. The rest is just marketing and a bunch of crap. That team, he was let go, I think, in 2025, and I think that team is down to 50 or 60 people that maybe know what's going on. And of the 50, 60, probably, half are average, and then you probably only really have a couple dozen that really are gifted and good at what they do. So out of a giant $1 trillion company, essentially 20 people really kind of know what's up. The people running the company are, a typical big company. It's run by marketers. It's run by C-suite people that, are friends of, the rich brother that worked there or whatever it might be. It's all just intertwined networking that is essentially to enrich themselves, not to go down some nasty political thing. It's just, there's not very many people that actually know what they're doing that work for Microsoft. The same can be said for like Apple and many of the other big tech firms. A lot of people think there's all these geniuses that work there. Most of them have retired or died or moved on. And a lot of the people that are competent are gone. So really, there's a skill issue that is just massive at all these big firms, because honestly, if you're really intelligent, why would you work for them more than a couple years other than to get a good base knowledge set? You could outsource some of it, but I think a lot of the traditional knowledge that was there is gone. And a lot of the people that made these companies what they were are gone. And that's why I'm like, hey, it's okay they're incompetent, because that just means that it's easier to fix what they break because they don't know how to actually lock their stuff down. And, I'm kind of here for it. It just makes what I do that much easier. A little more work probably, but also it also makes the product better, because who doesn't want a Windows that doesn't just bloat up and suck? So I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful for this next year. It could be good. Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, AI chat can be very good. A lot of people are very anti-AI, which I get. I totally understand. But I mean, AI can be very good from referencing large amounts of data and then getting an idea of what's going on. Or I like it for brainstorming too. Like if I'm trying to think of it like a new feature or something like that, I might workshop it and then look at the code. Now, a lot of people, especially normal people, I would say try to have it write entire functions. And you can put out something, but it's gonna be kind of buggy and awful and probably have a bunch of security holes. And then it has so much like nested conditionals and all these other things that AI just doesn't do very well. It can produce a functional program, but it's not maintainable long term. And I think that's the big thing. But you can use AI and watch what it's doing, reference certain things, and it really does speed up things a lot. So I think AI assistance is really nice as long as you have a basic set of knowledge and you don't lean on it too much. So it can be very good. The people that are like anti-AI completely, like I have to write every line of code, and if it's touched by AI, it's corrupt. That's just not me. I really do like AI assistance now that it's gotten some maturity to it, but it's still not very good, like as far as like writing in complete code. But when you're just trying to reference something and go, okay, I see what you're doing there, that's actually kind of cool, let me remove all this extra BS you've tossed in here and we're going to clean it up, and then it can be very, very good for that. So that's my thought process on writing with AI. I think it's good, but it depends on how it's being written, who's the project manager, those types of things. I think a lot of big companies, they're accepting too many PRs, and when those PRs get merged into the main branch, it just introduces way too much tech debt, and there's just too much slop that gets introduced, which causes more bugs. You'll have like the Windows enshittification where like it won't remember Windows locations. Like that's another thing like has happened with Explorer. I've actually had a couple people going, hey, I use your utility, but I noticed my Windows Explorer doesn't remember its location. And I'm like, well, that's kind of been a bug for the last couple of years, depending on what's going on with your system. It might not remember the location of your Windows Explorer, and it just opens the same place every time, or doesn't quite recall those things. You'll see all these little regressions as the years continue with Windows, and most of that can be fixed from like third-party modifications, but just kind of life as we know it right now. So it's just a different way of dealing with things. Just my thought process. Windows Phone activation is no longer possible. About time. I mean, who uses phone activation? Everyone just mass graves that now anyways, right? Oh, I emailed you. Oh, okay. Richie, yeah, if you want, you can always go and go to cttstore.com, pages troubleshooting. Here's how you re-download it. If you've ever downloaded it and bought it through the website, you should have it here. Unless you bought it like in 2022 or 2023, maybe, when we were on the old store. Might need to add you to something. But here's the link, man. Try that. If you don't see any orders when you log in, because there's this little count guy up here, you should be able to see it. And if you don't, just shoot me an email again. Maybe it could have got lost in my spam. But there was the page. Oh yeah. Okay, let's get into year in review. Let's look at some pull requests with old Winutil. Getting into the Windows and shitification and getting stuff. RAM prices going up, bro. Get used to it. Millionaires are only going to be the only PC users left. Everyone's talking about year of the Linux desktop, and I'm like, man, pretty soon there's not going to be anybody to actually use a desktop anymore. Everyone's going to just be console peasants that are playing games. Or using an old system. One of the two. All right, so let's... First off, I wanted to go through... Where was that? Year in review. Ooh, I think I put it over here. Oh, I've downloaded it 3 times now. Sounds like something I do. Ah, let's see how this goes. Speaking of AI, this looks AI generated. I'm sorry, Caleb. Let's be nice. Let's go presentation mode. Let's present it. Are we ready? I'm ready. Yeah. Let's go. Year of refinement, stability, and community impact. Led by Chris Titus and a world-class team of contributors. Couldn't agree more. Mission, your PC, your choice. Like it. By the numbers, 2025, we had 157 merged improvements, high quality code integration in the main branch, 354 new community issues. There's a lot. Now, I don't keep up with many of the issues unless they repeat themselves. If I see the same issue like 5 times, I'm like, all right, I'm going to take care of that. 251 issues smashed. Nice. Key milestone. Seamless day 1 compatibility with Windows 11 25H2. Nice. 2022 is the Genesis launched first automated debloat scripts. Actually, it was actually 2020. So, the first script, I love showing this, was... Oh, actually, let's go GitHub. It wasn't even Winutil. It was, I think it was WinScript. I think it was a Win11 script. Oh, what the hell was it? 1 second. No, Win10. I think it was Win10 script, actually. Sorry. Because Windows 11 wasn't out. Yeah, there it is. Oh, man. Anyways, this was the original script. And this one, here, I'll just pull it up. So this one was before I was just learning GitHub. And I kind of screwed up a whole bunch of stuff. So anybody that contributed to Windows Utility or Win10 script, as it was called back then, I screwed up some pull requests. I messed up a few things. And most of this was me just manually editing the file directly and then uploading it. And these scripts were very, very basic. I was doing a win form and then just launching directly. Now, this one right now, I think actually, let's go in history. Fix bad PR. Bad PR that I created, probably. Let's just pull in an old one. View code at this point. Yeah. So here was the old one. It was done with Windows Form, which is just awful. If you ever done WinForm, it's just terrible. Everything was like absolute values. You had to pick like height, width, no scaling options. Oh man. So anyways, this was back in 2020. We kept going on this for 2022, and then when we did WinScript, I had a massive PR come in from developer Derp. And at the time, I instituted Win10 or Winutil as we know it right now. And my idea was to build a scalable UI using PowerShell and runspaces, because we were having a lot of lockup issues. So what happened was when you clicked on this button to install Brave, for instance, it would lock up the GUI because everything was run with just one thread. And I wanted to use runspaces so we could use different threads and then also have a responsive UI. But the problem was it was run from PowerShell, and that PowerShell would lock up whenever something was run. So I had to learn a little bit about runspaces, and to be honest with you, runspaces is still kind of black magic when it comes to PowerShell. It's very difficult to deal with and troubleshoot and debug, but it does work. As everyone sees now, we have 10 million runs or something silly in the modern Winutil, something like that. What are we at? 14 million runs, 14 million downloads. Whoa. But that was its humble beginnings. I'm sorry, it was just such a long rambling rant. But anyways, going back. So the genesis of Winutil, which was the revamp of Win10 script with run spaces, with modularity, we broke apart everything. Instead of editing one file, one 10,000 line file, what we did was bring it back in using XAML, switching from WinForms over to wow, the name escapes me at this point. Damn it. Not WinForms, WPF. I'm sorry. Yeah. Minor brain fart there. WPF as the stock, and then pull it all in, because everything had WPF, everything had PowerShell, so you could run it on any system. And I was like, oh, I could build the UI using the script and then throw everything in there and then do that. And then developer Derp, one of the very first PRs we did on this was breaking everything out of Winutil and making a compiled script. So at the time, instead of editing a 10,000 line file, that's why it looks kind of the way it does, which let me pull up code actually. Let's go file, open recent, Winutil. So this is the originals of the functions, and then breaking all the tweaks into JSON files, and making private public functions and doing all this. This was actually all developer Derp's idea behind it. And I saw that, and my initial reaction was like, oh crap, I've never done anything like that. That looks scary. Let's do it. So we did, and then made this one compile right here, compile.ps1, and get rid of that. And then what this does is it goes through and takes all these functions and everything and compiles it into one script that everybody runs. And that it's not even listed here, but the script is the winutil.ps1, and that's what everybody runs through their PowerShell. But this compile script compiles all the functions, all the configurations, and then pulls it all in seamlessly into one file, which is the winutil ps1, and then runs it. Kind of a cool structure. Love it. Yeah. Avoiding more languages to the project would be good. How many languages? I think we're just using PowerShell. This past year, we did have some like C code. I think it was some C# code that was in the project. We removed actually a lot of C code that was merged in the past. Let's see. How much of the project is PowerShell? Yeah, almost all of that C code was removed this past year. So we're only having, I think, 0.1% there, and I think that's all XAML. So I think we did remove any old legacy C code that we're using for different things, which is great. Anywho, back to the year in review. Have I missed anything in chat? I don't think I have. You answer everybody else, but not me. I don't know. I mean, all I see is you. Oh my god, annoying. You're banned. Sorry. Spamming, you miss everything but me in chat. I'm sorry, but I just can't deal with that. Sorry, brother. I will never know what question it was. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. All right, sorry. I don't miss questions on purpose a lot of times. I'm just slow reader a lot of times. What's your AI agent software of choice? Code. Just VS Code. I'm kind of simple. I use VS Code. Typically with Claude 4.5 is my jam these days. Although I have used Gemini a little bit. Gemini is actually not as crap as it used to be. And sometimes when Claude doesn't give me quite the response I need, Gemini thinks a little different and spits out something that's unique. I'm not going to say good, but usually different. And it's sometimes enough to get me unstuck. So actually, Gemini is actually my number 2. Probably my number 3. I still throw Gippity in there. GPT is still not awful. I just default to Claude, though. Have you tried anti-gravity? Not really. I'm not really into trying a bunch of different editors. I usually try and find something that works really well, stick with that, and then just ship. You know? That's the thing, is you just got to get shit done. And I don't want to be trying everything like that. Is it C# or D flat? You know what? I really love F#. I don't know why I love F#, but I look at the language and it just makes a lot of sense to me. It's like a very functional language that's very easy to read, and I like it. And it's based on C# and .NET. Actually, I think C#'s based on F# at this point. I think F#'s upstream from C#. So F# actually has more cutting-edge tools than C# in a lot of ways. At least from my rudimentary understanding. So anyways, yeah. So I don't really try a bunch of different stuff. DeepSeek, I remember when that was a huge thing when it hit the market, but these days I don't have like a massive cluster, and I'm not a hardware reviewer from YouTubers. Most YouTubers have like a bunch of hardware and like a wall of graphics cards and stuff like that. Nah, I mean, the last card I got was 2 years ago, I think, and that was me reviewing my HP G5 down here, which is the Xeon I'm on right now. Mainly just so I could do pass-through. So I gave, I think it was superworkstations.com. I don't know, some off-brand site. A shout out for that, and they sent me the whole system, and they're like, hey, I was like, no need to pay me, I will just keep the unit. So shout out, there you go. So I pretty much just kept that, and I think that's was a 4070 Super, a Xeon with 16 threads, 64 gigs of memory. Hey, that's pretty good. So yeah. And that was the last hardware review I have, and honestly I don't really have much in the way of hardware to run a local LLM. I don't have anything extra. I don't even have a 5000 series NVIDIA card. Probably my top cards I have right now out here, I think, is the 7800, which, one second. What was that? Yep. My 7800 XT out here, which is one of my best cards. And then the 1660 is what I use for my pass-through into Windows. So if you look at my Windows box here, let's go Device Manager. You'll notice it uses the 1660 GTX. So this is all native. So actually I could play a game in here if I really wanted to. And then inside my main production PC, I have a 4070 Super. So that's kind of my jam. Would F# be good for someone that
has an ADHD brain or easy to learn, I think F Sharp's interesting. I think it's relatively easy to learn, but I don't really want to recommend programming languages. One, I'm not like a traditional programmer in the sense people have paid me to do things in programming, but I've never been hired as a programmer or a developer. Traditionally, I've always been DevOps or like a director type position. Like I've always run the IT. I'm more your hardware guy, or that type of thing. So I'll do like rack and stacks for like data centers and things like that professionally. But programming, most of it was just like scripting or automation for clients. Those types of things I would tackle professionally. So as far as like low level languages and those types of things, I'm just not that guy. I love programming, don't get me wrong, and I love messing with it, but F Sharp is probably not the language to learn. It's not really ever used in the real world, or at least not very many places that I've seen. I just really enjoy the language, so that's why I write in it. And I think it's important to have fun with whatever it is. So find a language you have fun in, and then just learn that, and it should be fine. Stop the yapping. I don't know if that'll ever work. All right, sorry. So the genesis of Winutil, getting back to it. Power contributors, we had Gabby with 38 commits, Martin with 22, or Meritech. Drift user with 20. Drift had a huge UI revamp. You may have noticed the UI change a lot in 2025. That was Drift that did that. Coding Wonders did so many commits. Even though these are 15, these were some massive commits specifically to MicroWin. So Coding Wonders has always been very, very good with like DISM and those types of things, and he's really helped a lot with the MicroWin aspect. Drift helped a lot with the GUI. I think he kind of got a little burnt out, and I think some people were a little overly critical of some of the design of it. Some people were like, I like the old design, not the new design. I'm like, potato, potato. As long as it works well and people can select everything, I'm good. I don't really care. I'm more of a functional kind of guy. As long as it's functional and it works, I don't give a shit. So, but I know Drift has a lot more GUI experience than myself. And me, at the end of the day, I'm just like, if it works, cool. Let's roll with that. And as long as it doesn't look like crap, I'm good. And I've always liked a lot of his commits. OG, Niles, and Calum. We've had a lot more contributors than that, though. If we look at Winutil, let's see. What did we have for contributors this past year? Let's go period. Last 12 months. I'm not certain the AI got all that right because I feel like we've had a lot more contributors. If we don't break GitHub. I think they're actually going to start charging me for some of the traffic from here, which I guess makes sense. I think just in relay traffic, I think I filtered over 1 terabyte of data. Crunching the latest data just for you. Hang tight. All right, cool. Let's catch up with chat while we wait for that to happen. Next slide, list them. Okay. 64 gigs of gold or silver. Gold and silver. Do you see what silver prices have done? My gosh. Insane. The dollar's going extinct. Buy gold and silver now. Half joking. Just people yelling at me. Stop yapping. Well, that'll never happen. Just got second PC and stuff. I have a main PC running Arch Linux. Nice. What a Chad. Any recommendations on a stable distro to use of gaming? I think Arch Linux is amazing. Honestly, that's what I use. But if you have to pick a distro and you have to ask, Cashy OS is, pretty streamlined these days. Not bad. Bazite's really solid if you don't want to do any configuration. Just works pretty well out of the box. SteamOS, nobody should ever install SteamOS. A Titus OS release. I don't know, man. I don't think I could deal. I think most people, there's like a evolution of a Linux user. Like you have Mac and Windows users that are they just turn on their system. They just want to run their program, right? Linux users are different. Linux users, everyone has different tastes and like feelings and, how they use your system, and it evolves over time. Like I go back 5-6 years, dude, I was a KDE guy. You go back to 2020 when I was like two years into my Linux experience, right? I was all about KDE. Every system I installed, Debian, Arch, whatever it might have been, I was running KDE, having ball. And then I was like, these tiling window managers are kind of cool. And then I started messing with those. And then for a year, it was BSPWM. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I went from, no. It was Awesome Window Manager for a year. So 2021, I think I was on Awesome Window Manager. And I think I still have my config up here somewhere. It probably doesn't work. It's been so long. And that was so much fun. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Look at all these tiling windows. It was neat. And then I went from Awesome Window Manager to BSPWM. And I was like, ooh, this is all Bash. And I was like, I know Bash pretty well. This is even better. Because then I can configure it a lot easier because I know Bash. And then I was like, after a year of BSPWM, then I was like, wait a second. Hold the phone. If I just get DWM, I don't need anything. Talk about the master of debloating. What if you only had 100 kilobits? That's it. 100 KB for the entire system. You don't need anything. All you have is that. How cool is that? So then I got DWM, and then this is the only file that gets run. And it's 116K. And that's what runs my whole system. I was like, dude, so cool. All this is other just building files and stuff. You don't actually need that. You just need the binary. And I was like, this is the future. So I went from like this massive like KDE desktop environment setup that sometimes it would update and break and other things. And it was kind of a little inconsistent. And there's like annoying bugs to all the way to like DWM, which is almost nothing. And if I'm missing a feature or something doesn't behave exactly how I want it, I can just code it in C. Which you might be thinking, I don't know C, but I know enough about C that it's fine. And I can code pretty much anything in that I'm missing. I'm like, this is a ball. I have all my sound at the top there. I can just change that at will. I can mute it. I can launch my Pavu control and change my settings as I need. And I have all my task tray. Everything's great. I don't have anything really running in the background. Like this is with Windows running actually. Because I still have Windows running on this machine too. But it's just perfect for me. But this is an insane person setup. Like most people are gonna go, okay, well I need to configure my resolution. And I like to come in here and I'm like, I'm gonna go 1080p on HDMI 2, set it to 120 refresh, run that as like a Xorg configuration, which people are already going, well, Wayland's better. I'm like, whatever. You use what you like. But it's just a weird setup. And I feel like there's this evolution that happens to users that the Linux journey is more about, I think, just finding exactly what you like and then only using what you like. And I think that's the best. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. We want him to update Winutil. We probably should get into that. Anyway, Oh, here, we finally got it. Contributors for the past year. Gabby with 38 commits, Martin with 22, Drift 20, Coding Wonders 15, Dependabot. Caleb, Nile, Zeus has some really good ones. He actually had a lot more PRs, but I only accepted about half of his code. There were some PRs I just didn't either jive with it or I didn't like them. They just didn't fit with the project. Fluffy Punk's done a few. Developer Derp had a big commit. He came back on the scene for just a hair. And we just had a lot of folks that popped up. I think Jared had a whole bunch of PRs too, but I only accepted one. So some people submit multiple PRs, and I only end up accepting one for... It could be bad code, it could be just a different ideology, or maybe they wanted to do a tweak that I didn't necessarily agree with. Like, I think today we need to revert Gabby's tweak, now that I'm saying it out loud. Let's look at that. Oh, wait. Well, let's finish the year in review here. Sorry, man, I am just all over the map. Getting back into it. Highest impact, 182. Multiple 2025 merges. Nice list of all the heroes. Oh, yeah. Claim your contributor missing a role. Verify. Oh, yeah. Hit up Campbell. Looking ahead. Adaptive defense as Microsoft adds more AI and telemetry. There's been certain tools that have really been hitting the scene, like an anti-AI tool. It's just fancy marketing for disabling, recall and all those services. We take care of all that. So it's constantly a fight, and they keep rebranding crap. Like, I'm convinced that Copilot is just a rebranded Cortana from back in the day. If you remember Cortana. I think that it's rebranded to Copilot, and then they're just adding all this extra crap into it. As far as recall and other AI style features, just keep an eye on it. Right now, it's starting to make its way into the preview builds, but we'll see what happens. Remaining the most trusted community audited utility for power users. I think this is a big thing. Is all the code's completely open. We don't obfuscate any code with like programming or like base 64 like certain projects do. Not naming any names, but there are projects out there that say we're open source, and then all of a sudden you start looking at the code and you're like, why is it like this? You can't read it, and then you have to essentially decrypt it to read the damn code, and then you're like, ooh, that's kind of dirty. But the big thing is maintaining the open source community contributions is so important. I think having everyone look at the code, go, this is good, this is bad, and then having consensus and then moving forward is always good. So nice. Your PC, your choice. That's how it should always be. It's how it always will be. Now, let's get into some problems. Are we ready? It's only been an hour of me yapping here, kind of going back and forth. Have I missed anything before we get started with Winutil? Okay, fat bastard, what did I miss? The service PR, Gabby. Okay. Fat bastard's like, no, keep going. We're done hearing you yap. Let's go. It's been fun. We've caught back up. Let's actually fix something. I see you. Let's go. Oh, we got the micro in update as well. How many years from now will it be a cashless world? I don't know. All right, let's go. Let's see. First off, first order of business. The services tweak, I think we were having problems with. It was a PR we accepted from Gabby, and I think people were having issues. Let's go. Issues. The great Gabby release breaks services tweak. When a reset went from 120 to 70, but now it doesn't do anything. Let's try it out. That is the question, isn't it? Does it still work? All right. So first off, let's verify or replicate the issue. Always important to replicate all your issues. Let's go new. Go local. We're gonna just do 25H2. Bam. Let's grab. Let's see, how many gigabytes should we toss at this thing? Let's go 24K, right? 24 megs, or 24 gigs, I'm sorry. Yeah. 24 gigs. We'll allocate 69 gigs to the machine to test. Win11 test. Let's customize that install, shall we? Let's go bridge network. Finish. Let's change our topology. Set this to one socket. Let's just toss 16 processing cores at it. Xeon magic. Yep. You know, I should test shared memory a lot more, but I don't. Anywho, let's go 2.0 on this guy, and we shall start the install. Dun 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 dun. Casually put 70% of my RAM in your VM. I know, right? Well, I saw something like oh god, I saw just a crime against humanity. I think it was Asus. One of the manufacturers, because of RAM prices, were changing the default installs on a Windows system, mind you. I think it was a Windows laptop to 8 gigs instead of 16. And I was like, bro, that is just highway robbery. 8 gigs in Windows? Oh, that would be just absolutely brutal. I get asked this question a lot. What edition of Windows is best? Windows 11 Pro, if all you have is the stock stuff, Windows 11 Pro is probably the best for most of the stock stuff you can buy in a store. Which edition is the best, though? Windows 11 LTSC Enterprise IoT Edition would be the answer to that question. You might be thinking, what the F is that? That's just above your pay grade. Too many people don't use that, so I never even mention it. At least in videos. Most Twitch chat is like, wait a second, you did that last stream. I think you used that. The Windows tweak guy. Oh, man. Chris, do you think we should update telemetry tweak to state that you can only fully disable telemetry in Windows Enterprise or in Education? No. Because honestly, in Enterprise and Education, you still have telemetry. You have one more setting in telemetry in Enterprise. It's called Security. That is disabled on Home and Pro. But you still have telemetry. You can never disable telemetry 100% from Microsoft. You can only minimize it. I think in Home and Pro, I can't remember what it was called, but there was one above security that we set it to. Can you unban me, please? Oh, okay. I don't know how to. I will. I'll find it. Mosh. Or Mose. Yeah, more micro slop stuff. It'll be interesting. Ad block is always interesting too. This past year we actually had that ad block apocalypse kind of thing where it wasn't counting views, and I think most all the creators were still getting ad revenue, but ad revenue's just been such the era of YouTubers without sponsorships is over. If you want to be a YouTuber, you will have to do some kind of sponsorship if that's your main gig. You can't be a YouTuber without doing sponsorships and make a livable wage in 2026. I don't think very many people actually come out and said that, but that's kind of why I do different things. I love programming, and I'll have my other job. I have multiple different income sources that aren't even tied to YouTube videos, so I still don't do any sponsors in my videos. But the ad revenue now is just nothing. And it's like, that's why I haven't really done very many YouTube videos. It's kind of pointless. Like, it's like, you don't really just, Google doesn't pay anymore. And it's not like my videos aren't getting great amount of views too. Like, heck, a lot of YouTube creators are complaining, oh, I'm not getting the view counts that I once got. My view counts are as high as they've ever been in the 8 years I've done this. And it, the ad revenue is just kind of crap. And I'm like, that's kind of a bummer, because I still remember like the era of like the golden years of YouTube, where you had YouTubers that could come up and just make content without sponsorship blocks. And now you have to pretty much do sponsorship blocks. In the field of like tech, you still have a few people, like a guy that lives not even a mile from me, 8-Bit Guy. If you've ever done anything from 8-Bit Guy, he lives in my city, and he's just down the road from me, and he's never done sponsorship blocks, and he pretty much, he does maybe a video every month or two, just because it's just like, okay, well, I'll keep doing it whenever something passionate comes along, and that's kind of where I'm at too. But the era of YouTube actually paying to be a YouTuber is kind of over, and to be a YouTuber in 2026, it's more about sponsors and then doing like bookends, and I just never really gotten a good workflow for that, where when I was dealing with companies, they just wanted to change too much, and they'd be like, no, you can't say that in your video, or you can't do this. And I just like, well, screw you, this is my company, I'm gonna do it anyways. I don't want to do that. And they'll be like, no, you have to, if you're not gonna do that, we're gonna not pay you. And I'm like, well, great, screw you then, I'm not gonna do it. I think that's been the last couple sponsor spots I've taken, where it's been like, hey, I'll try your stuff, and then I get down the road, spend a week doing whatever it was, then I find out their product sucks, or I didn't agree with certain aspects of the product, and then I'd bring that up, and they'd be like, well, we can't pay you if you say that. And I just think that's dirty, and I don't agree with it. So that's where YouTube is in 2026, sadly. Yeah, it's not. Videos are nice. I still like doing a video every once in a while. It's not the end of the world. And I'm like, okay. So when something like pops up that I'm like, oh, I really want to try this, I'll still do it on a video. It's not like I'm anti YouTube video, but it has to be something I really enjoy and that I just want people to know about. Let's see. Yeah, 8-Bit Guy's a great guy too. He actually has an arcade, not even like a mile from my house. It's called I think it's the Time Rift arcade. So cool. I absolutely love that arcade. It's so fun. I have one game I'm in there, and if you ever go into his arcade, play Gauntlet Legends, and you should see me on the leaderboards. My initials are CTT. Little Easter egg for those that do it. Do a collab video on arcade. Oh man, that'd be great. That'd be great. Next time I see him, I'll holler at him. But he's a cool guy. When you look at my PRs at the description first, I think we read them out loud, you'll understand more. Yeah, I think Coding Wonders would agree 100% with that statement as well. Sometimes I just jump right into the code. I don't read the description. So, Happy New Year from Ireland. Man, I love the Ireland's amazing. Fun fact about Ireland is I use you guys all the time. Whenever we were doing the Edge uninstall tweak and we were changing the region codes, the very first time we did that tweak, I changed it to Ireland. So, shout out to Ireland for forcing Microsoft to uninstall Edge for your region. Now, fun fact, that tweak no longer works. Changing the region, now you have to like reboot, and I think there's some other requirements. So, but that's okay. Gabby actually came up with another tweak that we're gonna do it. The start MSCHX local only. Yeah, I'll probably do that. No, actually, I'll probably just do old school. We're just gonna go straight join domain. Yeah. Is this? No. I'll have to look at how to do that. Sorry, Moss. I will unban you as soon as I can. I don't know where that's at in the actual tool. Bro, my process count will not reduce. Well, that's what we're checking out today. Right this second, you joined at the perfect time, Astoff. I totally butchered your name, and I apologize for that. But, Astroff. Yeah, Astroff. Well, that's what I'm going with. We're installing a stock Windows 11. We're going to run the tool, and then we're going to see what the process count is. We need to verify that the tool does not work on 25H2 and reducing the process count. And if that is the case, we'll revert the last service PR we took, because I know exactly the PR that would have done that. Oh, Music Match. Man, I love Music Match. I remember that back in the day. Putting a CD in and then ripping it all to MP3s. Oh, that was one of the... It had such a good interface back in the day. Love it. Check DMs. What do we got? Did I miss something, Kalen? From channel-specific blocks, go to YouTube Studio, navigate to Settings, left-hand side in Gear Item, click on Community tab, find Hidden Users, sometimes under Stowaway Clients, Hidden, remove the user. Dude, YouTube has to get better about their live streams. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'll mess with that later. But I will get you. I'll get you eventually. I'll get you after the stream. I don't feel like messing with all that on stream. Fitness update video win. Oh man. Naz. I actually did a competition a month or two ago, actually. I think I actually put it on my Instagram. My Instagram has now become my fitness channel. Where's my profile? Look away. Yeah, this was the fitness competition from the Relentless Games. It was... That's great. Yeah, there's my fitness competition. It was fun. Sorry to cause so much pain to people, but that was fun. Blink and you miss it. I know, man. It has been great. My bench has gone up to it's almost as much as my squat, which is almost pathetic. My squat's still crap because of years of computer work. I have like a hunchback, so my back is like curved. But my squat's only like 265, but my bench was 245. So really doing well on bench, but more often, like, I'm even getting a decent snatch now. I think the last time I did a snatch, I got a little over 135, which I was super happy with. But I'm still not great with the snatch. And then clean and jerk, I think I cleared... Oh, I'm almost up to 200 now. Close. I think I was like a 190 and 195 on my snatch. Or not, my clean and jerk, which I was really happy with. So I'm mostly doing Olympic lifts, and that's just been a lot of fun. Oh. Our eyes matter. I'm sorry. I went fast as I could. This is not Prime's Jack, so I can't joke here. Oh no. Is Prime still live streaming? I don't think I've seen him on Twitch very often. Process count doesn't matter as much as y'all think. True. There's something called CPU cycles, but the problem with that, I actually did a video about process count and the cycles and how it affects your performance. Most of the people use the cycles as an excuse to run a bunch of monitoring programs and other shit in the background that are constantly looking at what you're doing. That's my problem with process count. Not that it's taking up my resources. Yes, that does happen, and yes, there is a small cost. Not as much as most people think. But the big thing is, I don't think you should have 20 effing tray icons all the time, running, constantly monitoring, doing God knows what in the background. I think you should always have as little processes as possible and only be running the things that you need, not be sitting there and launching stuff. I think the biggest crime against humanity, and I think they should drag the people up at Microsoft out into the street and shoot them for saying that it was okay to launch Explorer on startup, so it would just sit there and wait so it wouldn't have a long startup time of like 2 seconds or some bullshit. I will not sit here and debate if it's okay to have 200 processes because the cycles aren't affected as much. No, they need to write their programs properly. It needs to launch as it always is, no matter what type of system you have. Yes, you can go spend thousands of dollars, buy a new system, and everything works just as it did on your old piece of crap system on how it used to be programmed. But the fact is, you shouldn't need to go buy more hardware. You shouldn't need to go do these things. They should just do a better job of making an operating system that doesn't screw itself. They're just incapable of doing that, which is fine. Fine. But, alas, I'm sorry. We're finishing the install now. But, you know, I'm just saying, just maybe if they were actually good at what they did, you wouldn't have to debate, hey, is 150 processes too much? Well, it's not impacting the CPU cycles that much because it's really not causing too many references. Yeah, I guess you could make that argument. But are you really comfortable with having all those extra processes that are essentially not doing anything? I'm not. Oh, gosh. What do we got, gaming? What did I miss? Where you at, mouse? Let's see, what do we have? I used Windows 95, 98, XP, Vista, 10. So what's the big hype of Windows 7? Please tell me, since I never used it or installed it. Wow, really? You went from Vista to 10? So, this is a little controversial. Maybe not that controversial to say. But Vista, with Service Pack 2 and above, with proper patches, was actually about what Windows 7 should have ended up being. And they actually did a project called Microsoft Mojave. I've shown the video on stream before, where it essentially just rebranded Vista without widgets. And then they marketed it as the new Windows, and everyone loved it. Essentially, 7 did exactly that. Now, Vista had a whole bunch of hate because you had two big things happen during this era. The first thing was the switch to 64-bit from 32-bit. A lot of confusion around 32-bit programs and 64-bit programs and how they're fundamentally different, but also look the same. So it was really confusing for an average user. You also had this massive jump in hardware requirements. If you ever went from XP that had 9 processes running in the background, yeah, single digits, guys, to 40 of Vista, and modern day systems, obviously, 80 to 100 and something processes running at all times. This is with the sliding scale that's happened over the past decade or so, just for historical context. But 7 was the sweet spot because it kind of fine-tuned and cleaned up all those advancements Vista made with 64-bit. And there's even a 64-bit XP that nobody really remembers. I think I was the only user of the 64-bit XP Professional, which was pretty good. I really liked it because it was just so fast and you had just bare minimal things running. I digress, though. 7 was the de facto standard, really well done at the time. The problem is people conflate good at the time with good today. 7, sometime after Windows 10 was released, really shit the bed. And if you were using 7 past, I want to say it was 2017, 2018, when all the NSA tool leaks happened, there was massive exploits with SMB. There was just a ton of issues with 7, and it did not grow very well, and it wasn't very easily maintained. The update system didn't clean itself up very well. It would be not uncommon in like 2020 per se to have a brand new Windows 7 instance hogging up, you know, if it wasn't optimized and just done from Microsoft installing all the patches from an earlier spin of it, it could have 30, 40 gigabytes of space occupied by a Windows 7 install. So it didn't age gracefully, and a lot of people just remember how good it was back in like 2010. But Windows 7, let's not make any mistakes here. The enshittification of Windows 7 happened in our lifespan, and towards the end of its life, which happened in 2020, by the way, it was pretty atrocious and terrible. I never saw Windows 7 in business post probably 2018, 2019 at the very latest. All that was gone because it was just such a security risk, and it was just a very badly aged operating system at the time. But when it launched, Windows 7 was fantastic. It was the best version of Windows, historically speaking, from a market and general user consensus. But again, it can't hang on to the past. It is where it is. All right. Let's set up our Windows. This is stock. This isn't using MicroWin. It's not using anything special. This is exactly what every user will see. Hopefully we don't have any updates. We might end up, oh God, if we have an update, it might be an hour. That's the problem with some of these. Oh God. Bad things are coming our way. There's updates. Shit. Again, Microsoft's incompetence. Let's just time it right now. It is 2:30 my time. I bet we don't even see the desktop before 3. This is how bad Windows has gotten. We started the stream off. How has Windows gotten worse? Here you go. This is for you if you're still here. God. Hopefully it doesn't give us the update screen. If it gives us the progress bar and it's doing a cumulative update, okay, good. Okay, good. We didn't get that. Hopefully they remove that in 25H2. That was awful. All right, we'll go work and school. This is how I usually just do it. Do domain join, subscribe. Next, no password. If you don't use the password, you can skip all the security questions. If you want to tick those off and it makes you feel better, you go right ahead. Tweaks will take care of it, though, regardless. So I don't even bother ticking it off these days. Oh, shit. It's so painful. Eek. Look at that. Microsoft, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? You are just an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Anyways, I guess let's wait 30 minutes while it installs updates on a fresh ISO install. The idea here, yes, of course I would never install Windows like this. But the idea is here, I need to see what normal people are dealing with. We need to see what the normal process count is on a fresh version of Windows. So, that means we have to wait. We have to wait and see what we got. This is the Windows 25H2 premium experience delivered to you from Microsoft.com with no modifications. Yeah. All right. I'll pull up the pull request. We'll check back. If we hear the chime of Windows finally booting up, we'll time stamp it. It started this about 2:30. Let's see where it ends up. Now remember, I gave it 24 gigs of RAM, 16 processes of Xeon power. So your experience is going to be slower than what this ends up being. That's crazy. Like, what are you doing, Microsoft? You hate your users. Microsoft hates humans. I think that's going to be the slogan for 2026. That's Microsoft's new slogan. Do you breathe oxygen? We hate you. Enjoy. I mean, God. This is what you get with a monopoly, though. It's okay. Anyway, sorry. Let's go. 12% now. I can't. I just can't. Sorry. Caleb, did you link that somewhere? Probably was in... What, did you put it in my to-do list, probably? To-do list. There we go. All right. Move docs over. Is this what you're talking about? Oh, no. Phoenix, what have you linked? My curiosity has gotten the better of me. This is not a real company. Oh my God. It's too good. It's too good. AI writes 90% of you. Don't worry, we can tell. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna repost that. That's a good one, Phoenix. Alright, sorry. Alright. Caleb, let me link. Was it 3760? Let's see what we got. I think I was waiting on that one for some odd reason. Yeah, it was 3760. $13,000 lines. All right, what are we doing? I think this was all of just bringing the docs right back in. I'm gonna have to look at. Let me just pull in. Actually, you know what? Let's try reviewing code space. Sure, let's create a new code space. I immediately regret doing that, actually. All right, let's just pull it up on our system. My bad. My bad. Let's not do that, actually. All right, let's just close these documents. Trash that. Pull in this. Let's grab, update all of the commits, and then let's grab our PRs. And Calum. Well, I don't see Calum here. 3760. Oh. Load more. Oh my god, how many PRs do we got? Oh, Gabby. Good night. There's a lot. 36. No. Move docs over. There it is. Alright. Let's see what we got here. So, we got a whole bunch of images. Assets, okay.
Yeah, well,
That's
the dude
fine.
abides.
Big Fabs, thanks for the prime, good sir. Content. It's fine. Archetypes. So this is all docs. Ah, it's all under docs. Why is Go here, though? We shouldn't be using Go. Was that just a Hextra? Does Hextra use Go? No? I wonder what those Go files are for. Part of the theme. Yeah, that's where I was like, I don't understand what was using them for. Huh. Alright, well anyways. Should be fine. Let's pull it all back in. We've been meaning to pull the docs back in anyways. Docs.yaml, let me take a peek here. Contents, pages, right, ID, token, right. I don't think we need a right to ID token. That doesn't seem right to me. Oh. Defaults to bash. It's actually the current default, so not really needed. Hugo version's fine. Time zone's fine. Node. Okay, minify sources, base URL. Looks alright. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think we need to set the permissions for the GitHub token though. Because I'm looking here. Let's see on the publish. I don't even think it uses the token. Yeah, I don't see it doing that. I could be wrong though. I'll have to take a look. I need to pull that in though. Yeah. IoT version of Windows does have a GUI. In Winget, what's the best package tool to come to Windows? Yeah, I would say Winget is so good. It's essentially bringing in a package manager like all Linux spins have, and that package manager is extremely powerful. So nice. Like Chocolatey has been the de facto standard for CLI package management in Windows for hell more than a decade, but Winget, it just works better when it's first party, meaning it's coming from Microsoft and it manages packages. Like Microsoft has probably multiple people constantly getting paid to keep up to date with those packages, which is good. So Winget is technically more reliable than Chocolatey, where Chocolatey is relying on the community to update packages, and there's sometimes out-of-date packages that get added, and it's not as reliable, in my opinion, or in my experience. Now, there is Scoop, but I haven't used Scoop as much, so yeah, Scoop I've heard good things about, though. I think Scoop's better than Chocolatey, but I can't compare it to Winget because I haven't used it enough.
Look, I want to say, I know you know a lot of super people, so thanks for thanking of me.
And Doug, thanks for becoming a fan. It's way faster for you. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It just depends on the PR. Like, I had to pull in some of those. What was the tweaks that... This is one of the things that we needed to update. The MS keyboard filter. There's no reason to, like... Yeah, I'm gonna close this out. Like, there's no reason to start up everything. Like, the reason why switching it to manual is... Unless it's just not there. It says it's disabled by original type. Yeah, never mind. I see what you're getting. No reason to be enabling it. Yeah. I got you. What's it doing there? Let's accept it, though. I see what you're doing there. I thought that was enable to disable. All right, let's merge that. What else do we have? Let me see if anything pops up. Fixes Winget. What are you doing here? The best way of fixing Winget. So I've done a lot of work here. Let's see what he ends up coming with. So right now, we're doing NuGet and then repair Winget directly from the package manager. I think it's much better, but let's see what this set is. Yeah. I thought this was what we were doing. I swear repair Winget was already in here. Was it not? So during the install process, Winutil Winget, we do use try catch. So it tries to first do Winget through Winget, because technically you can update Winget using Winget. And then if that fails, then it tries to use Winget repair package manager. So it sets and says, hey, if the build is greater than that, then go ahead and do the repair. And then if that fails, I'll just say, hey, all installs failed, and throws an error. This way is what we worked so hard on doing, yet it is not getting referenced. So you're putting this out, which fixes Winget. Where the hell is this getting referenced? Huh. Okay. Install Winutil choke. Why do we have two functions referencing this? I'd be fine with the install failing and then trying to do a chocolatey as a backup, but why do we have it set like this? Why aren't we just referencing the install button? Like, why do we create a whole new function at all? Doing the install, checking. Is it installed? Fine. Equals outdated, continue. Then it checks to make sure it's 1809 or above for the version. Then we try an attempt to install with Winget. Refreshes environment variables, verifies. If not, Winget failed to install. Attempt to install from Microsoft Store. This is when it checks to see if it's 24H2 and above, because repair Winget package manager didn't exist before then. Then we grab the NuGet package, set the PS repository from PS galleries to trusted, install the module for Winget, import it, repair it, move on. This is the proper way. So why did I ever add this? Why did this ever get added? Like, this should replace this. Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, read my messages. This is for the config tab. Yeah. The problem here, Gabby, is yours fine, but what we have already is better. Like, look, this is still installing, by the way. Thanks, Microsoft. Holy crap. Anyways, we have this, which sucks. I agree with you. This is awful. But this was already what we're doing. Like, we're not referencing the right function. Yeah, like we're not referencing the right function. Why the hell are we creating a whole new fixes Winget function when we already have an install function that does the same thing but better? This has so many checks in it. Like, it checks to make sure before trying to install the repair Winget functionality that, one, you're on the proper versioning, and two, it also tries to install and update Winget using Winget, which is actually nice. This works actually quite a bit of time, so this is better in every which way than anything that's happening over here. So, like, this whole file should be deleted. Yeah, like this right here, delete. And this should just be install. So, if we look, we're deleting this file. We're just changing this to install instead of invoke. Wait a second. That's a private function. I don't think we can actually... Okay. Okay. I see what happened here. Never mind. This is a public function. This is the private function. I gotcha. All right, well, let's fix this. I still don't like either solution here. Let's just take this, discard, restore file, discard. Let's grab our changes. All right, now let's go back a little bit. Now let's grab that fix. Let's get rid of this. Invoke Winget. We don't even need the chocolatey. install Winget Choco. Should we install Winget? What is that function? Winutil. Where are you at? Where are you at? We just had it. Winutil Winget. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Finish Winget repair. Done. We're fixed. Yeah, I totally get why you updated it, but the existing install Winget here, how it's updating the taskbar item to properly update the logo, and then this logic out of the existing install Winget is better. So if you look at this logic, you're doing various checks. First off, you're checking, hey, is it 1809 or above? Because if it's not 1809, and believe it or not, people still rock really old ass Windows versions, it'll fail. And then it also does the check, make sure, hey, can we just install Winget with Winget? Sometimes that fixes Winget and it updates it, which is great. And then it says, hey, okay, well, if that didn't work, let's repair Winget using the official Microsoft module. And that's when it says, hey, or 24H2 or above.
The dude abides.
Then it installs the module from PS repository, imports it, and then finally does the repair. These are all really important steps. Just saying repair Winget won't work, and nearly as many options as doing this. This is a good way of verifying and doing it. So you have a PR for install Winget? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to close this. We're just going to do our own on that. And then you said there was an install Winget PR in here too. We do need some updates on Chocolatey. Now most people use a Windows 11 fully functioning Winget install. Not necessarily, man. You got to remember, Microsoft's broken 23H2 and 24H2 out of the box. Many of those versions, which is what most people are still using, have a broken Winget out of the box. Who's to say they won't screw something else up in the future and then break it? So removing these catches are not necessarily a good idea. Yeah, so I think this assumption is wrong, but let's double check. What are you doing here? Yeah, no. Hard disagree here. This is fine. That's just this section right here. But we also need to be doing a check to make sure 24H2 and above is running on that. 24H2 is just this past year. People are going to be installing this from ISOs from 2-3 years plus. Trust me, man, they exist. I constantly get emails from them. Hell, I've had people still saying they got Windows 7 installed, believe it or not. It's crazy. But it also needs to be Windows 10 compatible. Believe it or not, people still use Windows 10. I know. It's end of life, but what else are we doing here, though? Test Winutil package manager. So we're moving all of this to check the Winget's versioning. Instead, just grabbing it through git command. Because right now we're parsing it through this command. This does seem overly complex on this side, though. See, I like this. The git command has been around for a while. Does git command work in PowerShell? Good Lord, this is still installing. Microsoft. For real? Oh. It hurts. It hurts. That's just that level of incompetence. Insane. Like, I should not be surprised at this point in my career. It's been 20 years of getting paid to fix their problems. But this is like peak levels of incompetence. Like, junior programmers just starting from 1 year in should know this is an absolute ass user experience. Like, look, still installing. We've been installing Windows for over an hour. Stock. I mean, obviously we could use MicroWin and get it done in 5 minutes, but this is the experience Microsoft has, and they're like, yeah, ship it. It's fine. Nobody installs Windows anymore. I guess not. Not with the RAM prices that are their price right now. Don't install Windows. Install Linux, guys. That's Microsoft's stance. We're just gonna make it so long that you could have installed Linux 10 times over. Hell, you could have probably gotten through most of the Linux book at this point. Oh, that's funny. I mean, it's pretty hilarious. I love it. Yes. Hello. Oh, thank you, my love. Oh, bring me up there. I did have work. Oh, thank you, my love. We're still not done. Oh, it is? I'm going to turn the air down.
I was gonna say, you even were a little sweaty.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I got it pumping. It's like a tropical island. 85 degrees in here right now. I like it hot. Sorry, we're taking a lunch break. It better not fail. That'd be hilarious. That would be about 26 Celsius. Oh, 30 Celsius. Okay. What do we got, Gab? Check it. It will work even on really old versions of Windows 10. I don't believe the PS repository import of modules work on old Windows 10. I could be wrong, though. I do like the simplified code on the other side, though. The remove Windows AI. I keep seeing this. Let's pull this up. I think this is just a couple settings. Like, what are they doing exactly? Let's see. It's coded in PowerShell. Why is it so many lines? All right, it's killing trusted
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Checking the PowerShell version. SRF Felix, thank you for the tier 1. Go ahead and stripping out policy keys. These are just those are CMD comments. Reg exe. I don't like how this is coded at all. Not necessarily wrong. It's just like, why wouldn't you just set item property using PowerShell though? You know what I'm saying? Then you got your edge. Like we do that with debloat edge. Most of this is going to be done with telemetry. If not, we'll add it into telemetry tweak. Office AI with group policy. That will only work with Windows 11 Pro and higher. Then we have most of these notification settings are already done from a privacy standpoint with telemetry, Copilot and stuff. Just removing background access. Yeah. What age did it start? The developing enthusiasm? Well, like actually coding stuff? I don't know, man. Like as far as actually putting it in the actual code, in my high school years, I actually really liked C++. And then I kind of fell off after I got working and I got into just traditional IT. Still did a bunch of scripting and stuff through the 2000s. And in 2010s, I was really heavy into scripts and scripting in general. And then in 2020, with YouTube kind of taking off, I was like, well, screw, I can do whatever I want. And I was just like, man, I kind of want to get into programming a bit. And then that's when the Windows utility kind of came to shape a bit. And the rest is kind of history. So yeah, I guess all my life to some extent. But I just love programming. I've always loved it though. Of different things. It's taken on many different forms. Shell extensions. Okay. Doing a registry backup. And then it's deleting the WSAI fabric service. Let's see if that's on this system. God bless. Is it still setting up? Holy crap. How do you make money? Are you creating content full time? That's actually a really good question, Dio. So, I actually want to answer that 1 second. It just popped out at me. Let's see what else we have. Recommend your Winutil to someone. Somebody asked, how do you make it because it's free? This is a really good question. Because believe it or not, Winutil is responsible for, I don't know, a lot of the amount of money I make these days. People donate, and a lot of people just want an executable. They want something they can click on their desktop and just run and then just have it launch. They don't want to type a PowerShell command in. And that's how I make money. And you might be thinking, Titus, that's ridiculous. People know how to launch PowerShell with admin and type one command in to launch it. And to you, sir, I say, yeah, that's what I thought too, but apparently we're both wrong. Because it's been enough to where I will continually updating Winutil from now until the very far future. Whenever people stop buying it, I'll probably stop updating it. but the user still exists out there that's like, hey, I just want an executable. And to you, I say, thank you, good sir. I will take your money and I will continue developing it because that's great. So yeah, I started making the tool in 2020 and it's just kind of kept going over and over and over. All right, Gabby, we're going to come back to that PR here in a second and we'll get it going. Wait, I was talking about the PowerShell command. What do you mean you sell it and people buy it? Literally, I have a command. It's essentially a wrapper that's in an executable file that you can go on cttstore.com and people buy it. The benefit is it's an offline file, so like you don't have to have an internet connection with the PowerShell command you do. So if you go to cttstore.com, you can buy the toolbox in an executable format. And you might be thinking, well, wait. Why would you do that when you could just get on a brand new install, go terminal admin, hit yes, and then type irm.christitus.com win IEX. I know. And I know this seems crazy. And some people that buy the toolbox just want a fun development too. You know, some people are like, I don't really care. There's been people where it didn't work on their system because of Windows Defender or some weird third-party antivirus. Totally get it. But sometimes I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'll refund you. And then the guy's like, nah, don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. And believe it or not, there's that many good people out in the world that just want to see this keep getting updated and fixed, and they go and buy it. And yeah, that's how I make money. Could I make more money if it was like paywalled or something? Probably, but why? I'd all lose. Think of all the development and community and all these updates we get. This is better than most, if not all, first-party or third-party solutions that are sold because they can't use open source. They can't use the community to develop it because then people just turn around and sell it or whatever. So I feel like this is like a really nice happy medium for me. But I don't know if it's like different, but it works really well. And it's not enough to make like an entire company and like pay people to like hire them as developers, but if it's just me and we're just kind of doing it on stream, it's enough money to where I'm like, cool, let's keep developing it. You know? Yeah. So yeah, and like Bob said, I just purchased it to show support. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you guys. It's enough support to where I'm like, hey, yeah, let's keep developing it. Let's just keep going. How far is Microsoft going to take this in shitification? A lot further than I actually initially thought. So, yeah. Let's see what our processes are. Okay, we're at 155 processes. On a typical run, this should bring it down to about 120 from the old method. Now, some people might remember it being at 70, but that was back. Oh, what was that? And that would have been back in the 20H2 days. So there are many more processes that start with Windows these days. You can see them like OneDrives here and other things that are running in the background. So let's go tweaks. Let's go just standard tweaks. I'm going to disable hibernation as well. I'm going to not do anything crazy, though. Let's just look through here. I'm not even do practically anything else. I feel like that's right-click menu I absolutely have to have. Also, disable WPBT, I think is pretty much mandatory these days. And this isn't removing processes. This is just removing home and gallery from this menu. So let's do that. Let's go dark theme, that. Numlock on startup. No recommendations, please. No snap menu. I'm good on that. Sticky keys, gross. New Outlook. Show hidden files, please. No search button. Task view. Center. Widgets button, get rid of. That seems good. Can we get rid of that? What is this? That's the widgets, isn't it? See, widgets. Need to look at widgets. Yeah, unauthorized. So something's going on with the widgets. Need to take a peek at that. So anyways, that's just a basic tweak. Let's restart. And then see what we get. Did I not run the tweaks? I thought I ran the tweaks. Dude, did I not run them? I swear I ran them. No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm so fired. I'm just trolling y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, surely I did. Don't call me Shirley. All right. All right, let's run the tweaks. My bad. Just testing. I was just testing to make sure you guys were paying attention. Does the exe have an updater, or do you have to download every update? So what happens with the executable is it will check online if there's an online access and then run the latest version. However, I have to bake in the offline executable at this moment. Now, I might change this up, and I think the next stream we're going to actually look at like Win1Shot and a few other things on how to approach this. But I might make it the executable installable, so then we can update the installer as time goes on. The offline version, because the offline version right now you do have to re-download it in the future, and I don't make an executable for every version. Typically I only make an executable for probably twice a year or so right now, but I'm holding off on making the next executable until I think I might just make it an installable, so that way we can always update the offline when there's internet access, and then when you go offline it'll still run the latest version that it downloaded. I think that's probably the best way. The only hesitation I have is I really like it just being a simple one file, boom, it launches, and then when you close it, it's no longer running or installed. I do like not having any kind of installer at all, just because I'm kind of against it, but I understand why the installers happen. And you might be thinking, well, why not just update it in the background and just constantly release a version? Every executable setup installer I make, or setup whatever initial run, has to be vetted through all the antivirus programs. So I pay $400 a year for an EV cert. I sign that executable. I then have to take the signed executable and submit it to all the antivirus programs. Now you might be thinking, don't antivirus programs scan those executables for malicious content and then catch it? No, that's not how antiviruses work. They work off hystretics, or I'm saying that wrong, but they look at the history of users and reports. So you, the user, are actually the one that's making it. The bigger the user base, typically the better the antivirus. So the more obscure the antivirus, typically the worse it gets. Antivirus is kind of like a really nasty industry, and I don't know who's making all the money on the EV certs either. So you have to have an EV cert to be a developer and sign these setup files. Otherwise, people just get them blocked from all the antiviruses. Having an EV cert also increases the reputation of the executable or setup, so therefore it won't get flagged as much. And then you can actually submit to like Norton, McAfee. I do all the submissions whenever we update the executable. Obviously Microsoft for the Defender, and then they typically will flag it as okay, and then it won't get flagged as a virus anymore. But people are like, well, it shows that it's whackatech dot whatever Trojan or whatever it might be. Yeah, man, no, all that crap is what it sees is it launching like PowerShell to launch something. There might be another virus that launches PowerShell to install something, and that correlation is enough to flag something that's not reputable, that doesn't have a signature, that hasn't had the submissions. It's just kind of a gnarly industry, and there's no real good antivirus that's like, hey, this works 100% of the time, all the time. There's just the nature of the beast. I hate it. I hate that it's like that. I wish I could tell you, hey, this antivirus or security suite is perfect, but that doesn't exist. It's just, this is how the business works. Heuristics. Thank you. Heuristics. Yeah. All right, moment of truth. Let's try it out. We hit 120. I'm pretty happy with. All right, take it easy, one dude. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Okay, let's see what the full task is. Are we disabled? Yeah, man, that's looking good. No, that's solid. Well, Gabby, I think that tweak is actually doing what it should. Memory, looking solid. 2.4. We saw a big drop in processes. Now we could further close this OneDrive and uninstall it. This is just saying automatic sample submissions not done. Such BS. Turn sample submission on. Your device may be vulnerable. Yes, Microsoft needs all of that. Absolutely not. The other thing, though, let's see. One thing I wanted to check real fast. Change when notifications appear. Okay, yeah. No, this is good. There was a problem. I think it was a feature or two ago where I was putting this to always like that. I'm actually going to put that to like never notify. I know. I'm terrible. So let's just unpin that. And if we look, what's happening at the start here? Now the process count is jumping up. But why? What's running? Edge. Oh, crap, that's right. We also have the auto launch of Explorer to fix these slow launches. We also have the widget service going. Do we have... Yeah, I think it's also installing some stuff through the App Store now. This is a stock install, mind you. MicroWin won't have any of this crap. But I bet you... Yeah, see, it's installing like LinkedIn. Uninstall. So, I need to add that Edge uninstall from Gabby, too. Yeah, I think it's fine. God, how annoying is Edge getting? Your AI browser. Kiss my... Gosh. Yeah. That looks good, man. I can say we didn't replicate it. It feels much more responsive after those tweaks. We don't want to rip out too much. Like, I know some people obsess over the process count, and I totally agree. Like, it should reduce a lot of the processes. But we went from 150 something to 120. There's some installs that happen after the fact. Sometimes I would almost advise you to, on a fresh install, let it sit there for 30 minutes or something. Go grab some lunch break or something. Come back. Sometimes you'll have apps installing in the background, especially on a fresh install, without any modification. You're going to have some issues. So, no, that's fine, man. A service tweak, I think, is okay. The Edge uninstall we talked about, coding wonders want to be added. That's fine, but I think we should have an uninstall Edge as a tweak, right? Oh, we got microwin too. All right, now we got to do the big microwin PR. Agreed. I want to come back to this too. In a future session, we need to look at the AI one. I like what the idea of this app is. I think I'm just going to do exactly the same tweaks, but instead of... I don't like some things that this app is doing that I just don't agree with. Yeah. Like, it's installing a cab package directly off of here as well. Downloading remove Windows AI package from GitHub. I kind of want to dive more into this because I know a lot of people are using this right now. And I'm curious to see why they're using some of this stuff here. This section right here kind of jumps out at me though. So install no AI package. It's checking to see this, and then it's downloading this entire remove AI cab file. I want to look at this cab file because this looks like it's obfuscating something. Like, but why is he doing it through cab file? Like this right here. What is this? I'd be curious to dive into this because so many people are installing this Zoxware remove Windows AI. And to me, this should be a registry tweak. It should be something that's running. But this is actually adding an entire package to your system, to your Windows install. I'm not saying it's nefarious. It just seems odd. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the registry keys. Installs custom Windows Update package to prevent AI packages in this component-based servicing store. So the cab file installs those packages to prevent things from going into the CVS store. It's just an odd way of doing things. Okay, so they take the manifests in the repo to replace the ones in Windows, so Windows thinks it's already there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's Oh. Oh, he said my tool was crap. All right, well, that's fun. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to shoot anybody down. I'm just saying That's just an odd way to tackle it is all. I'd be curious to see all what's in there, but you know, maybe. And just I'm very against adding packages to a system. Usually there's another way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would imagine, like, the way I think about it when it comes to removing a lot of the AI or those types of things, I think there's better ways to go about doing it, removing it, and then the problem with Windows, and he'll probably run into this, even with like the adding of the cab package to the component-based services store. Microsoft, if he gets enough popularity, will work around it. And that's why I kind of like to add things that use Microsoft tooling to remove the Microsoft bloat. Because Microsoft typically will allow you to remove pretty much anything using, whether PowerShell or .NET libraries. There's usually a way of doing it without adding extra packages to the system. I'm very anti-monitoring packages, and I'm very anti-adding packages to a system. I think you should be able to use the existing tooling from Microsoft to remove anything that you don't like in the system. That's my motto. So I'd like more of like a leave no trace behind and not add anything to a system. And there's a lot of ways of going about doing it. That's why I was just looking at this, and you should be suspicious of anything that's adding packages to block other things that are always installed on your system that might always be running. And that's my point, where I was like, it gives me pause to where I wouldn't use the tool, or at least not until I would check out every aspect of what's getting installed into the CVS. Anyways, sorry, let's get into your PR here, man. Where were we on the win fixes? I think we left this off. I'm going to discard this, actually. And where were we at? I think this was fine at the end of the day. I kind of liked it removing so many. I love PRs that remove more code than it adds. I didn't see anything in here that's like too crazy. As far as the test, install. I'm okay with that. The git command, oh, that's the one thing I wanted to check really fast. Where are you at? All right, we can delete this. We've figured out what we wanted out of that. That was an insane install, by the way. It will never be used again. I just wanted to see the stock install just to make sure that the tweaks were working. They are on 25H2 at least. Oh, nice. All right, Gab. Take it easy, Mose. No, I'll get your main account banned. I'll look it up. Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with git command. I just want to make sure PowerShell 5 has it. Ah, what happened here? So what we're going to do is we're going to launch Windows PowerShell. This is PowerShell 5. Yeah, that's fine. Git command's in there. So most people use PowerShell 7, which looks like this. Nice. Oh, I need to update my Windows PowerShell. Oh, crap, that's right. I was wondering, I needed to test that, but, let's exit. Sorry. I'm gonna just check that. Yeah, I have an error. Convert null to type system data. Yeah, I'll fix that later. Alright, cool. PowerShell 5 and 7 does have git commands, so that's fine, man. Now, sorry to make you wait this long, Coding Wonders. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's go pull request. We need the Coding Wonders one. And I'm going to get that other merged in there too, Gab. I'm on null time right now. Do you use File Pilot? You know, I've tried to use File Pilot a couple times, and I've actually had more problems, so I was just like, screw it. But I do love File Pilot. I love the idea of File Pilot. Just being like 1 meg, works great, has more functionality than the Windows Explorer, and I think it's free, too. I mean, I think it has a pro version, but for the most part, it's free. All right, Coding Wonders. Where is Coding Wonders? I'm going to go through some of these, too. I'll probably go through some offline, too. No. Nope. Nope. Okay, maybe it was on the next page. I'm blind, aren't I? Three, 8, 3, 7. Okay. 3, 8. I must have missed it. I am totally blind. 3, 8, 3, 7. Ah, there it is. Good. Staring me right in the face. All right. Batch changes coming in the new year. So we got a new reporting tool. OSC DIMG detection has been revamped and now detects and installs AD keys correctly. Oh, nice. Now, before the ADK install was insane. You had to install like the 1.5 gig BS. Now you can just grab deployment tools for the 100 megs. That's nice. Look at that. Okay, so there's some props to Microsoft. Not everything has to be a bash. Fixes file store extend at the idiots at Microsoft changed the name of Windows app runtime.cps. Now File Explorer is no longer patching since here. Oh my god. It's terrible. Testing done on 25H2. Test these changes as well. Me? Of course I'll test them. Come on. Well, who would I ever not test a change? I mean, it depends on your version of testing. Like, technically, if I make a dev release and it's not in the stable branch and then people run it, that it's kind of like testing. Just not me testing. The guinea pigs run in the dev branch. Oh man, I'm becoming more like Microsoft every day. We should have Copilot review this. I'm not going to do that to Coding Wonders. I'm going to do it on a Gab. I'll do it on Gab's PR. Copilot, summarize this for me. Okay. A little bit back and forth here. Why is MicroWin using reg.exe? The reason why using reg.exe instead of something more native to PowerShell is because they lock registry hives for longer. So when you unload them, the locks aren't released on time. Thus, unloading fails and we cannot proceed. Nice. I honestly did not know this. Thank you, Cody. Do not merge without testing. I would never. I would never. Never do that. I'm kidding. All right. Let's see what changes were made. Different mount. Logo animation. Okay. I wonder why we're adding a Winutil software key here. Okay. We're just setting the versioning so we know it was installed when. All right, vert.io. And also doing micro test compatibility image. A lot more in diagnostics in this one. Report tool. No longer loading components, which probably don't even need because we're not touching it. Change theme to dark. I think actually the personalized settings, believe it or not, a lot of times that does work. At least in when we do it in the Winutil on an unactivated version, it does set to dark mode. So I wonder why setting it through here it does not. Saving image. What about removing the Ventoy thing? People have brought up Ventoy, and what's everybody's bead on Ventoy? I know some people don't like it, or they said there were some questions involving the validity of the tool. I don't know. Maybe we remove that feature. Get root kits. That's kind of strange. Why did we do a bang here? It's always been dot not for, or dash not for PowerShell. Maybe just a. But if you're doing dash not here, you probably should do dash not here. Won't recognize micro Win ISOs. Yeah, I've always loved Ventoy. But I thought it worked fine with micro Win ISOs when I tried it. Cause I use Ventoy all the time. Oh man, I remember Yummy. Haven't heard that name in quite some time. Yeah, that link is probably going to break in the future. Gotta love them. Download links in Microsoft always change. Like every 6 months, I feel like. What works today won't work tomorrow. It's kind of maddening. I don't know why they change the download links up as much as they do. I guess they pull old versions and force you on the newer version.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Selvin, thank you for the super chat. $5. All right. Ventoy solved my problem without having multiple USBs on different distros. Dude, I totally get it, Selvin. That's why I've always used Ventoy ever since it, like, I think it hit the scene like what, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was just all about it. Those links don't change. Famous last words, man. Anything from Microsoft and it's a link will always change. It's just a matter of time. Bootable USB. What do we got here? Writing directly. Ooh, that's ballsy. I like it. You're using PowerShell. Oh my god, you're using PowerShell to clear out a disk, initialize it, create a new partition. I love it. I love it. That's hilarious. I've never seen, I've never done this inside PowerShell. I mean, don't get me wrong. On the CLI, I've used like disk part so many times, but actually using PowerShell commands to clear and initialize a disk, for some odd reason, it just always struck me as dangerous. I mean, it kind of is, obviously. If you pick the wrong disk, it's not good. But I don't know. I just never trusted Microsoft with PowerShell. For some odd reason, disk part never bothered me. And disk part has the most unintuitive interface known to man. So, PowerShell to partition seems cursed instead of parted. Well, fair. I mean, it's worth a shot. You guys are also doing MBR. I think that's a little... That should not be needed anymore, right? Show of hands in chat. Anybody using legacy boot these days? Like, for real. Compatibility legacy? Anybody? Yeah, I haven't used Legacy Boot in like 5 years probably. I think I used to use Legacy Boot a little bit on some VMs, but MBR is needed for flash drives connected to scanners. Oh, okay. Like, but for this, it does not need to be there, right? Unless this is... It says MBR, though, for the flag. UEFI doesn't need that, right? Oh god, I'm sorry, Dan. Still have some servers on Legacy. That's rough. Yeah, you can't even install MBR Windows 11. That is not possible, I don't believe. Wow. Holy crap. I wouldn't do that, though. It just seemed bad to me. This has to be GPT. Like, when you do the boot sector, just doing UEFI with GPT, I think, is what the way you go. Doing, like, an NT60 MBR, I just... Unless I'm misreading this, and sometimes Microsoft tooling can get a little finicky. But... I don't know. I don't like it.
The dude abides.
I have an old Japanese... Oh, the Sony Vaio, man. I remember those. They were too expensive for what they were, but they were fun. Yeah, I mean, the Vio laptops were well marketed, and they looked cool. Windows kits, installed roots. What are we doing here? I guess that's where the 80K comes in. Get the kit roots path for the 80K. Determines whether to search WoW 64 compatibility environment. Okay. Then sets the color modes for first run. Okay. So before we were applying dark mode too early, it was getting overwritten by not being registered. Setting it here after first run should be fine. That makes sense. All right, setting the WM settings change for Windows. Looks good. Yeah, but Windows 11 doesn't install through, I mean, kind of does, but the reason, the hesitation for legacy boot is if you launch something with legacy boot, it will install. I don't know if it'll install non-UEFI, but I think it will default to doing legacy. And I'm worried if you have a MBR and you have CSM enabled in your BIOS, you boot into that ISO and install it, it would install MBR or a legacy Windows install, which would be awful on so many levels. Like the reason being is one of the main reasons people still use Windows is for legacy, not legacy, but kernel-based anti-cheat. And kernel-based anti-cheat doesn't work on legacy systems. You can't do secure boot. And secure boot's becoming a requirement for most of the newer kernel-level anti-cheat. So secure boot with kernel-level anti-cheat, you can't have MBR installs. So to me, it's kind of like I'd rather it fail and you don't get a legacy install than forcing UEFI or EFI and then getting the proper one for everybody. Does that make sense? Like, it's okay. I'd rather an install fail and not work than it install something old in legacy that no one wants or uses. And then they get to going, they set everything up, and then they're like, all right, I'm going to play some Battlefield. And then they load it up and they go, oh crap, secure boot's not enabled. How do I enable that? And it's like, reinstall Windows properly. That would be awful. That would be way worse than an install failing, in my opinion. That's just my thought process. That's where I'm thinking. Yeah, the MBR to GPT, you can't really... I mean, yes, it's possible, but the average user will not be able to do that. So... That's where I struggle here. That's where I'm like, I don't think I'd want to do any kind of MBR or legacy. Just because I don't want a normal person screwing the install up and then going, crap, now I can't play my game. Curse you, Titus, and your custom tools. Anyways, that's my thought. I mean, honestly though, I mean, I don't even know. I haven't even done much of the partitioning directly through PowerShell, so we'll have to test it. New reporting tool. What's this? It's like a CPU Z from the CLI. Wonder if we could add timings. Is there a timings parameter to the memory? That'd be nice. I don't know. It's a lot of code. The problem I'm having when I'm struggling with this is there's a lot of diagnostic stuff here, Coding Wonders, and we're already pushing about 10,000 lines on the script itself. And on compile, how many lines is this exactly? It's almost 1,000 lines. I'm just not certain having all this is going to be good. I think it's just too many lines added to the script already, to where I'm more looking for more stripped down. If anything, we should be removing features and slimming it down, than adding more. But I know you put a lot of work into it. And some of this is just set up logs and actually getting more diagnostics for folks. But you got to remember, every line we add is things that have to be read every time someone runs the program. So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know if the diagnostic information we get from this is worth the extra load time from adding another 1,000 lines. Remove system 32. Yeah. Gabby's doing a good job of cleaning a lot of stuff up, though. I do appreciate the going through and going, this is a lot. Let's just slim this down to 5 lines. That earlier tweak with Winutil, I think, will be good, or Winget. I haven't actually merged that yet, because I closed the other parallel one. I might have that just expand that PR just a little bit to reference it from the invoke config tab. All right, that's fine. Okay. I get it. I think I'm going to sleep on this right now. And I need to test it some more. Yeah. When was PowerShell created? I want to say probably Vista. First appeared 2006. Yeah, that's Vista. Like PowerShell 1 came out. They did cross-platform in 2016. Yeah, so DOS shell, CMD or command.com from old school DOS. But they ran into address limitations and other stuff. Oh god, VB script. That was the worst. That was like the I love you era viruses from the late 90s. Yeah, so where did this come out? 2016 with the final release of Web. So there it is. PowerShell 2 came out in 2009. Versions of PowerShell worked with XP, 2003, Vista, 2008, and onward. So they backwards compatibled it to XP in 2006, and then also added Vista. That's pretty cool. Yeah, CMD's been around since the 80s of some sort. It's been expanded many times over the years, though. Yeah. Is it the correct way to research it? Well, wait. How else are you going to research? I guess, I don't know. I guess you could ask GPT. Let's see what GPT says. PowerShell come out. Hey, look at that. It got it right. Originally came out on XP, but Microsoft made it available to several versions. It was a download in XP era. And then it came included with Vista. That's when I remembered it. Okay. You could use both. In this instance, it's kind of hard to screw up that, though. It's a pretty straightforward answer. GPT just goes and reads the wiki. That's true. I like to still do the wiki for most things. You just never know. But sometimes the wiki can get a little wordy. Sometimes you just want bullet points, and sometimes GPT's okay. But if something like feels a little off on GPT, I'm like, no, that can't be right. I'll go check the wiki just to double check. Snacking on? Oh, I was snacking on some Sun Chips. Yeah, I mean, yeah, GPT just does. The thing about GPT is it's just a giant copyright breaker, and it just does everything. I'm like, all right, well, that's one way of doing it. It just steals everybody's stuff. I still can't believe I can't believe they've been able to successfully navigate all the lawsuits from stealing like everybody's content. Like they scraped every website, they scraped all of it, stole everyone's information, and then put it in their LLM. And I'm like, can't they like get sued? Like, surely I know there's ongoing lawsuits, but I haven't heard of anybody being successful suing them for all the copyright theft. Am I just losing my mind there? I don't know, chat. What do we got? I don't know. Yeah. 3 hours into stream, 0 accepted PRs, 1 PR closed. Public domain is a loophole. True. Should we get at least 1 PR? I didn't see anything today. I was like, I have to get this merged right away. I do want to change that one invoke though. Let's make sure. What do we got? So this one, install Winget, Winutil. This is the one I closed. But I could just do invoke. Yeah. Let's get that. Get that. Invoke Winget. What is that? Gonna fix this up a little bit. Sorry. We're gonna get 1 PR done at least today. Baby steps, right? Isn't that James Clear novel on self-help or something? Just getting 1 or 2 things done is fine, as long as you do it every day. Yeah. No. That should be install. Was it Winutil? Winget. Is that Winget the capital? Winutil Winget install. Private. invoke, install. No, that's lowercase. By the way, it is case sensitive, so don't screw that up. Perfect. So we'll do that Winget force. All of this, let's accept that PR. I'm gonna come back. Winutil package manager. Dang. That is some code consolidation. I think we could actually make this better though. Ooh. Install package provider. NuGet is fine. Trusted. Just making sure here. Install module. Import module. That's fine, fine. And then we got the repair. You could do a force on the repair, but that's fine. I like it. Error action looks wrong though. Ignore? I think that should be silently continue, right? That's that, but let's just go. You know what? Just grab yeah, it should be silently continue. Ignore isn't a proper error action, I don't believe. It's correct? It's a shorter version? Let's check. Check the official knowledge base. All right, what do we got? Error action. Bam. Continue, stop, silently continue, or inquire. Does not look like you're correct there. Let's double check. Of course, there's Microsoft moving the links. Of course, none of the links freaking work ever. Error action. Okay, here you go. Yep. So error actions preferences, you do have ignore. You have silently continue. You have you continue. What's the difference between ignore and silently continue? So ignore suppresses the error message, continue executing the command. Unlike silently continue, ignore doesn't add the error message to the error automatic variable. The ignore value is introduced in PowerShell 3.0. It's not necessarily wrong. Just, yeah. Ignore doesn't add the error message to the error automatic variable. We're not really using the error automatic variable, but I think it would also not show an error message if it had one. I would prefer silently continue being used. Yeah. So I'm going to just change that. Because we've used silent, I personally use silently continue. So as a matter of preference, I would prefer that, even though I don't think we need to see the error message, or if there is an error message being assigned to the error variable, I would still prefer silently continue, because that's what we have just for standardization across all the code base. Now let's just edit that. Just do an edit real fast. And then let's just edit this one. I think this one only had one ignore. Oh, I think I already changed that. Oops. Yeah. Let's refresh. Okay, so then we have this. Some comments aren't visible in classic, whatever. Reload. Okay. Okay, if not... Did that change? Okay. Let's verify that. It's just those two changes. Okay. For some odd reason, I think there was like a third there, and I just wasn't seeing it. We have the test win package manager Winget. And then we just have the git command right here. Okay. That looks fine to me. There is no third. Okay, I'm just losing my mind. Where did I fail? Did I change something? Missing closing bracket for test. What? $3839. Let's just check this out. Was this first? Okay, we're doing that. Install Winget, Winutil force. That's fine. I did it already. Hey, we got a PR done. Gabby here's going nuts. I know. I know. I live to make people go nuts. It's okay. We're gonna grab that. 3832. What was it? There it be. 3856. Yes. That's the one. Nationalized Texan. I migrated, so I'm technically a convert from the Midwest. So I'm not a naturally born Texan. Believe me, there's a difference, apparently. Alright, that's fine. Wait, this one was closed? Okay, this one was the one I closed. Yeah, where's the other one? Winget, where are you at? Remove the dash force. Oh, okay. My bad. Let me get this 3839 and then we'll go back and fix it. I'm determined to get better at the PRs through code. I still like doing them through the browser though. But I do want to check this one out just because we were running into a bracket situation. So let's just refresh this. Let's close this PR, close this one. Let's just close all. 3839. And it was labeled update install Winutil. Okay. Update install Winutil. Winutil Cocoa. Ah, here we go. Boom. 6 minutes. That's me. That was me screwing that up. Look here. Coding Wonders is already on top of it. All right, let's look here. Just edit this. Got that and that. That's fine. Cancel. I think I must have wiped one out in the other one. It was this change right here is where I screwed up. I'm certain of it. All right. There's the Cocoa. This is the Winget. Then you have Cocoa. And that. All right, gravy. There we go. Fix the indentation of that. Approve. Submit. Merge. Oh, I think I could have just hit resolve and it would have added it, right? Let me just make sure it didn't add it after I hit resolve. I think it's fine now. All right. I'm gonna just double check. Let it do. What? It's fine. It's fine, guys. It's fine. No need to freak out. It's okay. Oh. Oh. I didn't know. Gabby, what can I say? I am a master of efficiency. 1 6-line PR done in 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm about to submit my resume to big tech. Elon Musk would be jealous. That's just what I'm going to say. A true YouTube content creator here. It's important to take 3 minutes of material and drag it out into 3 hours. I would say I'm a master of my craft. This stream shows it. It's like one of those day in the life of a dev. Oh my god. Those are hilarious. I need to make a day in the life of a... What was the last day in the life of a YouTuber? Does anybody know? Do those videos even exist anymore? Green check mark. Let's go. Wait, did I already approve it? I did approve it twice. Maybe a third time is needed. Big things are happening. There's a PR that was merged. Now we need to test the PR. It'd be funny if this failed. Oh, I gotta fix my null time. Alrighty. Are we ready for the compilation? No whammy, no whammy. Time is but a construct, shrouded in an enigma. Pre-release the one PR we accepted. I think tomorrow, guys, I think we need to have an 8-hour stream so we can get 3 PRs done. I think it's needed, considering today's debauchery that has taken place. Oh, what happened here? I have stages, not stage. What? I have committed state. What? No. What? What's happened here? We have to update more than this. What did I do? Oh. Okay. Yeah, it was just getting rid of some white space, it looks like. The compile got rid of that. Okay. That's fine. It was like, what? Oh, come on. Yeah. Fix white space. Alright, cool. Gravy. Guys, what a successful day. Excellent stream. 1 PR done. 5 lines changed. 3 hours, 23 minutes. This is peak development, okay? Absolute peak right here. It doesn't get any better than this. All right. Tomorrow, I swear, we got to do like a very long stream. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up early, and we're going to stream for like 7 hours. Because I got to get through more PRs. And tonight, before I get on stream tomorrow, I'm going to try and clean up some of the other PRs offline, because I want to get to re-encoding Win One Shot in F#. I want to do that, and I want to do that live on stream. And I want to get to... I got to look back over the micro-win PR from Coding Wonders, because there's some stuff in there I really wanted, but some... I felt like there was just too much diag stuff that would add bloat to the full script. It was like a compiled C program. It would have been totally okay. But since this is a PowerShell script at the end of the day, adding 700, 800 lines to an already pretty large PowerShell script, we're getting close to the limits of it. And that's where I'm kind of like, parts of it I think we need to strip down and remove more, clean up. I just want it more succinct, and adding all that diag work into the micro win section was just too many lines, because that would increase. I know 700 lines doesn't seem like much to a lot of programmers, but when it comes to PowerShell scripts, it does matter. The PowerShell is not the best language, and scripts are not great, and I want it to be as performant as possible. So that was the hesitation on that PR. And yeah, I think we're just gonna really, this year I really want to strip down, really work on getting it succinct, less lines, less faster run, more efficient, and just all the things. So should be good. I love it. Yeah, MicroWin worked with 25H2 on launch actually, so pretty good. Pretty good. No complaints there. So tomorrow might be a 24 hours. Oh man, could you imagine me doing a 24-hour stream? Like the 3-hour stream's already a hot mess. Imagine me at like hour 9. Oh my god. Be awful. Yeah. Gabby's doing a good job. A lot of the PRs have been nice to see. I love seeing a PR with more lines removed than it adds. That's always a very nice thing. So we'll see. Yeah. I need to get the PR done for sure. Just the diag section of the MicroWin PR, we might split off and shrink it down a bit, because there was a massive amount of lines was just essentially grabbing information about like memory and CPU and those types of things. I just don't think that those diag sections would be all that beneficial, except, or at least shrink them down to where, like, instead of grabbing like memory timing and stuff like that, I even said during the stream we could add timing, but I was just like joking a little bit, to where it should just be more succinct for the diag. I don't want to, too much information is often sometimes worse than not enough. So yeah, that was my critique there. But overall, yeah, I do need to merge all the PRs that we looked at today. I just want to clean them up a little bit. That's all. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Crap, it's almost 4:30. I gotta get going. Sorry for the messed up stream. You know, I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things. First stream in 3 weeks. It's been a minute. So tomorrow's stream, I'm gonna start early. But when I say early, like, we're talking YouTuber time, so like 10 a.m. I mean, come on, guys. I'm not working a 9 to 5. I'm not working as hard as you guys. Yeah, we're just these 3-hour-long days. I mean, you just don't have any idea how hard this is. So difficult. Or I have a rough life, but I'm gonna get through. Don't you worry. I'm gonna wake up and we're gonna hit live streaming by 10 a.m. tomorrow. I promise. We're gonna go to at least 3, maybe 4. Don't hold me to it though. All right, y'all. Have a great one. See you tomorrow.